All right, beautiful. Back at it again. Now. What I'm thinking is, with these levels, first of all, I need to populate them with more level stuff, right? Level design stuff, more content. Not content really, more prefabs and more just design stuff. Yeah. So I'm thinking I gotta get these things sorted out. And I'm thinking, should I do it before or after I get the enemies in place? Because I can kind of take a look at these levels and I can see what I'm missing, more or less. Where's the shadows? No shadows. Shadows are way down at the bottom of my priority list. Shadows are not the most important thing. So we've got this enemy. Ooh. This enemy is real tricky. So now, if I slowly get out of the radius, there we go. Oof. Tough stuff, man. Oh, jeez. I got it triggered. No, man. And that would get a whole bunch of things spawn. You could make a proper game with your art. What do you mean I could? What is this to you? Oh, man. Why is the chat not working? Come on. Oh, no, it's working. Oh, jeez. If you don't waste time doing the programming too. If you didn't waste time doing the programming too. Oh, well, I mean, you're talking about making a game if you have a team. So, and you're basically saying, what are you saying? You're basically saying me concentrating on the visuals and the graphics of it, while the programming is done by someone else. Yeah. Well, to be honest, that's something that I'm shooting for. In either case, the general problem, is that, well, usually getting help costs money, which is kind of my main priority right now. There's a reason why I'm recording all of this. It's not just because, you know, I wanted to live stream while I develop this. It's because I want to. Make this as a game development course, right? You know, music and art, so you got enough work already. Yeah, this is the curse of a single-man game developer, unfortunately. So, that's just what it is. Unfortunately. This is how we're supposed to live. You know, if I make at least one more frame for this guy, it would actually look pretty cool. Okay, so here's what I'll do. I need to hide the circle. The radius circle. The only thing I can really do now is find a way to raise some funds. So I could take one of my projects. Ooh. But you see, here's the thing. It's so involved that I feel like, at least at this point, if I'm gonna work with someone else, I'll just end up micromanaging too much. Like, for example, half of these animations are particles and... oh, jeez. Half of these animations are particles and... like the motion done in code. For example, this wiggle, that's done in code. So, yeah, I could animate some of this stuff, but this thing, wiggling it in code instead of a sprite, that just... I don't know, man. I need to do a course on management before I can work with someone else. At least with something as important as programming, is what I'm saying. Okay, so this will basically give an alert of enemy nearby. I like this. Oh, God. I might want to slow down the rate at which it gets decreased, to be honest. Target speed 0.2. Maybe. Oof. Oh, God. What is the... you know what? I want to maybe add a little bit of a... I want the iris to get even smaller, so something like 0.2. What are you up to, Jenko? How's the LCD project going? Okay, so what's the smallest that the iris is going to get? Oh, God. Oh, hey, that's actually pretty good. Alright. If I place a couple of these... I'll also have to do something about touching the enemy. I believe a spawn over here. Touching the enemy, having rocks touch the enemy, so you know, you can make some fun stuff. Oh man, come on. Place me there, why don't you? Especially with it. Oh God, no. Okay, see, that's not good. I can't see the eye of that enemy. Damn it. Okay, I gotta be careful. Okay, his iris is actually pretty big. Oof, now you have to track multiples. This is actually so challenging. Can you imagine actually decreasing the iris size? Oh jeez. Based on the speed of the player? Oh god. This is impossible! Okay. It's just 2 now. Come on, we can do this. It's just 2. What I might actually even do is spawn... Oof. Oh god, no, 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 no. Okay, I need to stay still for just a second. Let the iris sink in. There we go. So, if this thing gets agitated... Yep, and there we go. So what I'm thinking is, I can get this thing to spawn particles for every single enemy, or for every single player, so that each player has to deal with a set. Oof. No. Here we go. It's pretty cool. I like it. I swear to God, Google takes such a long time to clear up the backup storage. Just forever. It takes forever, man. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's make the other enemy type. I'm gonna add some stuff to this guy later on. Okay, enemy. So SPR particle. Sorry, not sprite. Yeah, sprite particle. Import. Oh man, I just realized that we have particles of varying sizes. So that means, yes, that means the collision point would be different. Although, at the same time, how big of a collision point? I don't think we actually even need collisions for these particles. They don't even have to use physics. Yeah, I don't think they even have to, just like object I. OBJ particle. We'll actually say OBJ enemy particle. OBJ enemy I. Aye, Captain. Okay. So with this object, create event. Right, so image index. Image index will be I random. I random, and it will be sprite or image number, which should return the amount of sub images in the sprite. Read-only variable can be used to get the number of sub-images in a sprite that has been assigned to an instance. If you need the number of sub-images for a sprite other than the one assigned to the instance. Here we go. Okay. So this should work. And it would probably be a good idea if I say image speed will be 0. I might just get through there. Beautiful. All right, so now we'll do wobble equals and wob increment. 0, increment is 0. Let's go to the draw event. We'll say draw sprite extended sprite index image index. We got to do xy scale. So this is actually 1 plus wob. Come on. Wob and 1 plus wob. As a matter of fact, let's make this image x scale image y scale plus wob. And we got to do x, y before then. Zero rotation, C white, alpha 1. Although rotation I might need to wobble a bit as well. Okay, now wob will be equals to sign of wob increment. And we'll have to do wob increment plus equal just plus plus. Actually, plus equals 0.1 for starters. Now wob this has to be multiplied by -1 so that it inverts it. Now this would return +1 -1. So I need to say multiplied by 0.2 so that it only returns less than a quarter of the amount. A fifth. Alright, so next thing that I need to do is wob increment amount. We'll say random range between 0.1, so say between 0.01 to 0.1 or 0.07. Let's do it like that, so that they wobble at different rates. As well as, let me go ahead and set the wobble amount to be 1/10 of the total size. These are actually quite big. Alright, let's do also image angle, and we'll have to say image angle plus equals, and we'll add the wobble to it. Now it's not going to wobble back and forth, it's actually going to add larger and smaller values over time. It might be actually so small that we can't see it in the moment, so how about this? We'll add this multiplied by 5 degrees and positions, but degrees and scales are kind of different. Start server, ready. Oh yeah, there we go. Actually, oh yeah, that's right. It would go back and forth like that. That's pretty cool. Actually, come to think of it, it wouldn't rotate because the sine wave returns a perfect positive and perfect negative, so it would move forward as much as it would move back. So same thing with rotation. It would rotate forward as much as it would rotate back. The only thing I want to do now is set the scale to be slightly different. Scale equals random range between 0.3 to 1. So what it is right now is already perfectly big enough for it. So what we need here is image x scale equals scale, image y scale equals scale. Oh, Jesus. Oh, this is the draw event. Sorry, this needs to be in the create event. Just like that. Ouch. Yeah, I wanna take a look at what this thing looks like in full screen. Black bars and all, and of course, the surface would have to be changed. Right. So that actually has to take place in the object lighting. Object lighting. And window get width window. Okay. So we need this in the create event, first of all. Not view width, view height. It's window get width, window get height. And now we need this in the draw event, if the surface exists. Else, window get width, window get height. I'm pretty sure the surface gets destroyed when you go to full screen. If not, we'll have to do it manually. Oh. Well, that's not right. That's not the size of the window. Port. That's the size of the port is what I need. A view get height port, so width port. View camera 0 or just view 0? Okay, let's take a look at the manual. Viewport 0, yeah, that's all it is. And we'll get H port. Alright, See if it works. Nope. That don't work. Okay, so what am I setting to this huge resolution here? Camera. Create event. Camera set view. View width. View height. But that becomes bigger, though. Unless the surface doesn't get destroyed and it's actually just staying the same. View gets width. Not width. Or view width. Camera get view width. Height. Okay, well, this is not really fun anymore. And there's the... Oh, interesting. Didn't throw an error. Surprisingly. So what the hell? Camera get view width. And camera 0. Well, we already do this here. I guess that's what we have to do. So, old full screen equals false. We'll start with false. And over here, right at the beginning, we're gonna say if old full screen does not equals get full screen. So if the screen changed, then we will need to, if surface exists, then we will need to surface destroy or surface what, clear? Surface free. Surface free. Global dot light surface. Surface create. Width port, height port. Okay, not width port, height port. This has to be view width. View height. Okay. If we go full screen. Hey! It's working. It's working. Now if we exit. Not working. If we go like this. Oh yeah, that's right. It's because yeah, it's because I'm not resetting this thing. Okay, so surface, only if surface does not exist do we need to destroy, or sorry, we need to say if it does not exist, the surface will have to be created. If the surface does exist, first free the surface and then create the surface. And then we can say the old full screen will be the new full screen. Alrighty. Get some stuff done. Okay. Go to full screen. Full screen. Go to part screen. And it's working. Beautiful. Nice. Okay. Fantastic. Oh, God. See, that thing right there is kind of skewing along a weird axis. I feel like I need to do something about it. There's nothing to be done though, because it's kind of stuck there. Come to think of it. All of these things are of the same size. They're not supposed to be of the same size. So something happened during import. They're not supposed to be all the same size. So chances are the smallest one delete selected frames. Okay. Yeah, I think the smallest one ended up doing something to it. View details. Yeah, see? So this one here is the biggest one, 3. Resize, imported image to canvas size, resize canvas. There we go. Okay, so we'll insert frame, add frame, import image. So that was 4, that was 3. Now we'll go 2. Okay. So resize imported images to canvas size. I don't want to scale anything. Okay, let's do 1. This is where it's kind of important to yeah, it's kind of important to export all of the frames in the same size. Oh wow. No way, this one's bigger? Jeez, okay, so how about we'll do that then? Import images. Apparently that one's bigger. So we will resize the canvas then. There we go. So now everything fits. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Resize imported images. There we go. That's what I'm looking at. So this stays at the center. This one needs to be moved a bit. Just a touch. Quite not so much. Here we go. So now that's in the center. We'll see how it behaves. Okay. Just get through here. That dog man. Okay. Not bad, not bad. The only problem, I would say, is it's looking a little too plain. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and add. Let's go to Object Master. I'll add the particles to it. All right. So we'll go to the enemy eye. We'll grab all these particles and grab them into the master object. All right. We'll also need to go into the... hey, look at that. I didn't have a cleanup script here. So that's not good. Cleanup. I'll go into the object player because I have a cleanup. I thought I had a cleanup in here. Okay, I guess not. We'll have to clean it up manually. Cleanup script. So, part type destroy part system destroy and part emitter destroy. Oh, damn it. This is the eye. I don't need this in the eye. Delete event. I need this in the master object. The master object. We do have a game and here. And there's the cleanup. Okay. So we are creating particle system. It's this guy. Particle system. And the emitter, index of the emitter, and then particle type. And I'm pretty sure this has to be destroyed first. First the emitter, then the type, then the system. Okay, so see, this is kind of a, it's kind of the problem here. Emitters are great, but I don't think I need to use the emitter. Part system or emitter burst. Particle system, emitter, particle type, number. Okay, so we have the stream, we have the burst. So that's the thing with this one. The master object doesn't need to emit anything. However, this guy needs to emit every step. As a matter of fact, if we're going to have multiple of these emitting particles, then they will have to be setting these variables themselves. Variable part emitter not set before reading. What are you talking about? High part emitter effect. Wait, why are we creating it? What are we doing? This has to be creating the emitter there. There we go. Line 86 in the create event. Line 86. Oh, that's because we're trying to use burst in here. That's right. Ah, gotta pay attention. Okay. Emitter region, and that's the burst that we need to actually have in here. So I can test this out now by placing the couple of these enemy eyes in here and making sure that they all emit particles, basically. Okay, so so that's the thing. I need this to be I'm gonna have to set it. It's the depth setting that we set up in here. This needs to be layer get depth layer called player +1, so it will be below the player. And if it's below the player, it's also going to be below the enemy sprites. Or so I thought they would be. Which layer did I put them in? Yeah, it's player. So that's what it should be. Layer get depth +1 means it below. What is going on? Well, it's been triggered, so that's that. all of these things are located on the player layer. Yes. This is kind of weird. Hey, there we go. The only thing is it's a little too far. Player layer is 700. The next is 800, so +1 should be working. It's kind of weird. This actually is kind of weird. I'm not sure. Let's do 200. Oof. Okay, so how about this? We'll say depth. Which layer is the master object actually located on? Object part fog. Object lighting. The only thing that I know why this might not be working is get player depth. It's layer ID. So layer get ID by layer name, that's why it wasn't working. Yeah, because there's layer's name and layer ID. You need to use the ID. I see how it is. So start server, ready. Okay. Still nada, but we're getting there. Layer get ID, layer name, layer called player, +1. Wait, part system depth. Index? Yes. The depth. Okay, this should be working. Can be -1. -1 is top, as in closer to the camera, so it would be on top. Huh. Yeah, that's not it. Okay, let's look into this again. Name of the layer as a string. Instances front. Did I spell this right? Player. No spaces. Yeah. I feel like I've had this problem before. Layer. Whoa, what is this? Is this the name of the layer that we're on? That's a built-in variable. Built-in variable created every instance in the room that contains a layer ID value and contains the layer ID value of the layer that the instance is assigned to. So we should be able to use this. Actually. We should be able to use this. Of course it doesn't work. Okay, what are we changing in here? Or what are we setting? Okay, so maybe I have to change it every time here. Depth plus... Oh, wait a minute. The stuff. It's the thing. It's 10, the depth of the layer plus 10. I can't remember if I tested this already. Yeah, I've tested this already. Okay, so I will take this. I will copy it. There's the eye. Place that here. We'll say depth plus 10. And it's working. So weird though. Okay, another thing that I want to do. Another thing that I want to do with the eye is the slight motion up and down. Okay. Motion equals motion increment equals, we'll set it to 0 and 0. Okay, I'm pretty sure I should be able to use the X and Y position for this. So we'll say let's do Y for the time. Y plus equals motion sine, or I should say actually motion will be equals to sine motion increment plus equals 0.01. That will be plus 1 minus 1. And then we'll say y plus equals plus 1 minus 1. So that should technically be 11 multiplied by 5, so it'll be plus 5 minus 5. But that should technically be moving up and down at the same rate. But of course it's kind of different. Oh man, you got some crybabies. Just lie down over here for a second. Slowly. Stay. Stay. 4, 6. Okay. Okay. Huh. So this motion increment, that's actually... it's quite big. And see, I don't want it to be... I don't want it to be moving in just up and down motion. One enemy taking so long. Boop, 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 boop. Image index equals 3, image index equals 0. Right. Don't mind that, that's different. Y motion. And what I can use this for? I can use this for the same type of wobble. Right? So we got motion. Motion returns +1, -1. So let's do 0.1. And let's do the whole thing with the multiplication over here with the scale, so it moves in the same type of wobbly manner as the particles. Multiply this by motion, or actually not multiply, this has to be plus motion on the x scale. We'll do plus motion multiply by -1 on the y scale. The rate will also have to be random. I think it's working. I want to say that it's working. But I can't quite see it. Let's increment this to 0.5 just so I can see if it's even running. Oh, actually, I'm squeezing the wrong things. I need to be squeezing this guy. So it's plus motion. And do that. So 0.3, 0.1. All this work just to make the world look more dynamic, more varied. Yeah, as you can see, that is what I need. Not only is that what I need, I also need to apply this to this guy. I should also do image X scale and image Y scale instead of these guys. Instead of just once. So I could randomize the size of them as well. Okay, multiplied by, or image, I should say this, image X scale multiplied by, image X scale multiplied by, image Y scale multiplied by, and image Y scale multiplied by. Same thing in here, image X scale, image Y scale. So now I can have different size eyeballs. Increase the pitch, the pitch of the scream as the smaller they become. There we go. So that's working. The only thing that's not working is the size of the backdrop. So this actually needs to be multiplied 0.9. It's kind of a little too big. There we go. Ooh. Oh. I actually made it past them. Cool. I like this. This is really cool indeed. Easy. Oh. Come on. Don't you look at me like that. It is a little bit slow, and I have a feeling that I've lost something somewhere. I feel like I'm creating something over and over again, and that's clogging up the memory. That's not good. So it actually got really slow there. Create? What am I creating? Am I destroying the surface on cleanup? Yes, I am. What else am I creating? DS grid. Am I destroying this DS grid? No, I'm not. Destroy DS grid, but I don't think that's the culprit to my issues. Not by far. Okay, here we go. What's next? Instance create, light grid. That's In the test, don't need that. Light offset. DS grid create. Do I destroy it? Yes, I do. No, I don't. It's the player data. DS grid. Destroy. Here we go. Move along. Socket list. I don't need these ones anymore, as far as I know, so I'll just comment that on. Key list. DS list create. I believe that I destroy. No, I clear that list, but I don't destroy it. So DS list destroy. Okay. And that's a local one. What's next? Particle system. I destroy that. Case sensitive. Okay, I mean, most of the other stuff seems to be pretty much intact. Is it possible to get a burst without an emitter? Particle spawn, something like that. I see it's real slow. Oof. Hey, come on now. It's not taking my inputs. Oh, Lord. Damn. It's quite a lot of stuff. See, the FPS is tanking for whatever reason, but then again, it could be because I'm opening a browser to the side, so who knows? I gotta get some stuff done. Wow, jeez, look at this. Good lord. Alright, oof. 48, 54. Maybe it's the texture swaps. Okay, we'll just get past these guys. Oh, stop. Whew. The eye closed right before it got triggered. Wow. Close call, eh? It's really choppy though. Real choppy. So I'm wondering what's gonna happen if I'm gonna up the texture page size once more. 8,000 textures. Good lord. Can't handle that sort of power. Generating texture pages. Takes forever. Got nothing else to do. Yay. Boop, boop. Okay. Past. Stop. Okay. However, I'm pretty sure the problem could very well be in the fact that I'm resetting the particles, the depth, every single time. Let's see. Kind of sucks. Could be very well. Stand still. Fly off. Pause. Ooh. Okay. It's still not doing too good. This is actually it's painfully slow. Let's show debug overlay. It's all fun and games until you get stuff like this. How many texture swaps do we have? What we're running at? 23, 24. Huh. It could be also because I've goofed up and created a whole bunch of data types without destroying them properly. So let me just close down. Actually, not close down GameMaker Studio. Let's take a look at this. Yowza! What is this? Oh my goodness! 1 second. No wonder I'm like running out of resources. Let's close a bunch of this stuff. Let's save this actually. Save? Save project, yes. Come on. You can do it. Oh, it's right here. So this is the I particle. High smoke particle. Alright, close that up. What else? What else do we not need? Do you need OBS? Could very well be because I'm running OBS at the same time. Could very well be that. OBS usually taps out all my resources while I'm trying to do game dev. So that's kind of not cool. Let's see, what else can we destroy here? I don't need Dropbox. CC Cleaner can go to hell. Xbox Stats I don't need. That's the controller driver. So much garbage, man. So much garbage. Time to reinstall Windows. It's too much garbage. Oh. Okay. Let's make sure we don't crash FFmpeg, because that's kind of an important one. CC Cleaner. Yep, it's heating up most of my CPU. Okay, I think I've gotten rid of most of, yeah, most of the stuff that's taken out my resources. Unfortunately, it's still it's still eating up a hell of a lot. So, but that could very well be the reason why I'm getting such terrible performance in the game. It's not actually my computer, or it's not actually the game. It's my computer. It did lead me to discover a whole bunch of stuff that I had to do, though. It's time to reinstall Windows. There's too much garbage running in the background. Yeah, I'm capped at 100%. I do have a computer built. Oh lord. On standby. I just need hard drives. And the hard drive base. And monitors. Oh man. That thing is running GTX 960. Okay, so I'll call it. I'll stop the recording of OBS on this machine, and I need to make sure. Hey, look at this! Will you look at this? Performance gone down 80%. We're running silky smooth, 60 FPS. Not a single tank below. Yeah. Damn you, OBS. You're such a useful piece of software, but I'm running a potato. How am I supposed to make this educational content if you're just gonna, if you're not gonna let me run the game smoothly? Okay. So now, object enemy. These are all VGA monitors. So this GTX 750 that's in this machine right now has VGA outputs, and the rest I'm using like HDMI dongles. But that machine, the one that's more powerful, that one has HDMI and display ports. So none of this, like, I can use one monitor I can use, but I can't. I have 3 monitors set up. Everything is being used right now. Going back to one monitor is like, ugh, terrible. Anyways, so it's this guy, object enemy. In the step event, I need to once again spawn the particles. We'll see if the performance holds up that way. Okay. So here's the particles. Particles are working. Stop. Here we go. Stay still. Let's keep going. Whoops. Excuse me. Whoops. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we're running just fine. Okay. Well, this is how it is. Oh well. Gonna have to find a way to work with it. But in any case, we're here. We've got the particles working, and haven't set up the collisions in here yet, so we can fly through this area. Yeah, look at those. That's terrible. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, come on. Let's just stay this. Fly through. Stop. Stand still. Okay. Let's get up here. Stand still. Oh. That one fell asleep right before it would trigger. Okay. Come on. Get through here. Oh, careful. Beautiful. So these are the next guys. So, yeah. I do need to get particles working on these as well. And I think I can reuse the same particle system. Let me drop that spawn point back here. And in this guy, in the step event, I'll need to copy the same thing I had here. So spawn for the particles, except master object. Oh my good lord, what is going on? Okay, create event. I need to change the size of the particles. In fact, I need to change the scale, not the size. Now, if I'm changing it in the new place, I also need to change it back here. So that's the original size. But this over here is gonna have to be like a 1, if not less, if I want this to look good. Oh yeah. That looks pretty good. Okay, so what I'll do now is I do need to have OBS running because I need to record the clean version of this. Okay. There we go. So this is my performance going back to 100%. Working quite well. Particles, that is, of course. So there's one thing that I want to create. There's another enemy type. I'm not done with this enemy, not by a long shot, but there's this one enemy that I need to create. I need to create them using particles as well, because it'll be way too expensive to create this sort of an enemy using objects. Let's see, what is it that I've been receiving? Okay. So the enemy that I need to create will go with Game Maker Studio 2 shapes, stream. Alright. Even this tool is taking the tank because it's made in Game Maker Studio. Alright, so I need to supply a sprite. And the sprite that we'll supply it with. Light flight. Assets. Enemies. Will just be this. Nah, this guy. Number of frames. Yeah, that's it. Okay. It'll be white. White. And white. Now. Coordinates. So this will have to be a rectangle. Come on. 0, 0. Rectangle width of 300, or yeah, and height of 150. So what I need to do here is I need to do direction minimum, so we'll do 90 and minus 90 like this. We also need to do a wiggle. Well, that's not the that's not the wiggle 90. Okay. This is the wiggle direction. You can't really wiggle. We can do wiggle for the speed though. There we go. And that's the amount. That's the effect that I need. Direction minus 90. Okay. If I could zoom out of here, that would be great. But size 0.2, 0.5 to 1.5. Okay, so this is the amount. Increase. We can do maybe a directional wiggle as well. The main point is I need all these particles to be in one same place. We can probably tone down the lifespan a bit. Particle motion 50. Okay. This could work out. Orientation. Let's wiggle the orientation a bit as well. That's the rotation. Can't even tell that it's that the particles are popping in and out of existence. That's actually pretty cool. This is the particle swarm. It's very specific for this enemy type. So when we move it around, see, the direction will have to match. Let's the direction will have to match the general direction that we're moving into. Right? See, when we move this stuff around, this is where things start to get kind of visible. Speed. Minimum, maximum speed. I want to keep these things more or less together. So wiggle. Okay. This way you can kind of see that it's getting spawned. 10, 20. The fading is kind of screwing you up though. Doesn't look quite as solid. However, what I can do is instead of, let's see, speed, life size, is I can do this, minus 0.05. So instead of 0.1 maybe. Okay. 0.5. Okay, so instead of popping out of existence, they'll shrink. Okay. So what if we go up to 10? Spawn 10, and maybe even set up 80-40 for the whatchamacallit, the lifespan. Okay, so we gotta get this stuff up and running. Okay, let's get the code into the game. Export. I'm actually gonna save this as well. Not enemies, but this is the projects. Swarm. So having this being spawned on the client and on the server side will simulate the swarm. I maybe have another like sprite in the middle, but for the most part, I mean, I might even be able to add it here. Let's see. So that's the swarm. Let me see, can I disable it? Enable, here we go. So with this one, we can layer various effects on top of one another. So black, black, and black, but transparent. Okay, come on. Size. Well, actually, the size can be the same. 300 by 150. 150. So that it matches. The size to 2. And let's get the transparency for the halfway point down as well. The lifespan, however, would be 20 to 40. I don't want these things trailing too far from the point of origin. And we'll use GameMaker Studio 2 shapes. So if I enable this one, okay, let's go up to 5. So that's the swarm. All right. Save. Export. Part-time swarm. Okay. I'll need to rename this as well. This is the swarm fog. Now, there we go. Creating the particles. It's all under the same system, so that's pretty cool. So we'll go master, swarm. We'll create this. Now I think I already have this particle system. This is the eye system. I don't feel like we need separate systems, do we? This one wouldn't be the eye in either case. This one would be the swarm part system. Save. Export. GameMaker Studio 2. Global eye part type swarm. Yeah. This is actually pretty cool. You can rename the general and then you can rename the specifics. So this is part type, and this will be part emitter. Instead of swarm, this is just going to be part system. Super useful. Beautiful. We'll save this. Yeah. Export for GameMaker. Let's go over here, replace that. Beautiful. So if I go over here and create obj swarm or obj enemy swarm, all I have to do is do a step event. I'll take these particles and put them in the step event here. As a matter of fact, not even. Part system depth. That's not the right thing that I'm supposed to be copying. I'm supposed to be copying the stuff from the master object. This guy. If we're gonna have multiple swarms, though, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be tricky. Okay, and what I gotta do is gotta do a mouse x equals, or whoops, x equals mouse x, and y equals mouse y. Because I want to see how this thing runs, so I'll attach it to the mouse, and we'll see how the particle system runs. Might have to make it a square. What is this? Not said before reading. SPR particle 5 part. Oh yeah, that's right. See, I need to import that particle sprite as a separate thing. SPR swarm particle. Which one was it? I think it was this one. Oh. One of them. That's the center. So this has to go into the master object. Disk. Here we go. Adding new sprites any day now. Okay. Oh yeah, it would probably be a good idea to place the object in the room. There we go. Alright, let's see what this thing looks like with my 100% capped out CPU. Let's see what this thing looks like. Whoa. Oh man. That looks nasty. Also looks awesome. I can totally move it about. This looks awesome. I'm running at 30 frames though, but that's okay. That's the beauty of particles actually. Like if I would try to do this with objects, I would have been running probably at, oof, 10 frames a second. That would have been bad. But yeah, this is an enemy. This actually looks pretty good. The only thing that I need to do here, however, is this. Instead of a rectangle, this has to be a square. Because then we can look at the directions that this is going in. I need to pull up a test. I think the messages aren't coming in. Okay, here we go. Save this up. Swarm Geon. And export. I just need to copy that part down there, to be honest. Let me actually close this workspace. Got too much stuff open in it. Well, enemy swarm. Paste that there. So for some reason my chat's not showing up. That's... you try to get it running, try to set it up, and it fails. Okay, come on. Let's run this thing. Very impressed what you've done, but I can't understand what is that. Oh, this is supposed to be one of the enemy types for this particular game. Holy crap, this thing is violent. That's amazing. This actually looks pretty cool. We should do more stuff with the particles. Also, this thing is it's not on the right layer. That's because this thing needs to be set up to be on the proper layer. Create event. Burke, how are you doing? Here we go. This is what I need depth +1 so that it stays there. Man. Oh boy. Alright. Start. Here we go. Nice. So now this thing is actually... Oof. Yeah. Now this thing is actually in the proper layer. So we can move it about. Let me get rid of the projectile spawn code. Those projectiles are absolutely hideous. Okay, spawn button. This one. Absolutely terrible. There's something that I want to try, but I don't know how well. Like, this is the first time me trying this particular thing out, but let's see. Enemy swarm. So what I want to say is ds list create. Yeah, okay. Well, let's do ds grid create. So I needed x and y. So I need 2, and we'll start with a 0. Whoops. So 0. So this is the position animation. Okay, that's all I need. Then in the step event... Oh, this is the step event. I don't need to create it every step. This is create event. Okay, so here I'll say if if mouse check button just that, mouse button left, I'm going to say ds grid resize the grid with this ID, and we'll say width will stay at 2, height will stay at ds height, ds grid get, or just height. Grid get, really? Height, here we go. So we'll get the height, then we'll say that the new height will have to be current height +1, and then we'll say ds grid set this grid, and we'll say the x value will be 0, the y value will be the last height that we checked, so we index 0. But by then it will have created the first step in it. And the value is mouse, actually just x. After which, on the first position, we'll set the y. So that should record the position of the thing. Right? And what I want to do is mouse check button pressed and be right. We will say show get string async. We'll say nothing there, but by default we'll do ds grid right, and we'll convert this ds grid into text so we can save it. Okay. Right. Let's try this out. So nothing visibly interesting is going to happen besides the fact that it's going to create a storage, and it's going to record the position into every step. Start server, here we go. Oh, I don't want that. Oh crap. Okay, I don't want that. Oh yeah, of course. I should probably make sure that this isn't an if statement. Here we go. Okay, same thing. Nothing special. Let's put on some Factorio music. You can only listen to so much Fallout ambient music. Alright, start server, here we go. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to do this. Here we go. And nothing. Why is there nothing? This should have done something. DS grid right. ID position animation. Mouse check button. MB left. Height, then we'll resize, and we'll go here, and we go there. Yeah, this is weird. This should have any Game Maker Studio. Okay, so what if we say str, DS grid right, and then we print it. Have we? Yeah, we have created it. Ooh, weird. Maybe we're doing this too fast and too much. DS height +1. Yeah, this should have worked. Ooh. There we go, that's what I needed. Okay. Okay, so once we start, I want this thing to go like this. There we go. Really? You're really gonna do that? Maybe it's the size of it. Maybe it is the size of it. How about, instead of doing string get async, we're just gonna say show debug message, and we'll put in a string here. Maybe it's just too big for the message to fit in. Could very well be the case. Here we go. So that has sent. That's the string. That's the start of it. And that's the end of it. I'll copy this. So here's what I wanted to do here. Path string equals, and this will be the path string. The only thing is it's formatted in a way that's not very friendly. Is there a limit to how big the string is? Unterminated string lateral. Well, that's not fun. I'll have to save it to the files next up, but at least if I can test this out, I'll do the following. So we'll create this path grid, and then we'll say ds grid read. We'll supply it with this string. So that should read that into here. Which means, as long as I don't press the mouse button, we can say frame, we'll do the following. Frame plus plus, we'll declare the frame equals 0. We'll say x equals ds grid get from this the position of 0 frame. Whoopsie. And y be the position of 1 under frame. Okay. If frame is below ds grid height, so we need to make sure we don't go outside of the size of the ds grid. So height minus 1, we'll say do this. Minus 2. Actually, because it's gonna say, oh, there's the last one. Well, it's below that, so still add +1, and this thing is gonna give me an error. So if everything went okay, this thing should now move on its own. There's read argument 2 incorrect, unknown, expect a string. Really? That was this guy. The error over here. Can I just like do that? No? No, I can't. Okay. See, I gotta make this a super long string apparently. Such a pain, man. Not quite the right way to do it, but yeah. Here we go. Let's see. Two incorrect type, no one expects string. Okay, so it's not reading it correctly, so I copied it incorrectly. So we're gonna have to not do that. Comment this out, and instead of showing the debug message, we're gonna actually have to do a file. Okay, file. File open. Steam file. Interesting. File text open. Open right. Okay, temp ds data. File text close. And we'll say file. So it records down the ID of the file, and then we'll close that file afterwards. Then file text write string. This is the string into that file, and then we close. Okay. Close file. Alright, let's see if this works this time. Might be able to just open that file afterwards, because it's going to be saved into the temp folder. Start. There we go. So, record the motion. Right click. That's it. So now if I'm correct, if I go to the local, I believe, there should be a light flight. Here we go, and temp data txt. And there's our DS data. Okay. So let me go ahead and not do that. And first things first. When we create, the first thing we'll do, instead of doing that pile of shenanigans, file text open read, and we'll say this the same file name as we declared here. There we go. Open file text open read. Beautiful. Then we'll have file text read string from the file. Alright, str, or path string I should say. This is what this thing's gonna be. And now I can go ahead and read that from the file into the DS grid. Okay, see if it works. Expected a string. What? DS grid read argument to incorrect type unknown. This should have done it. Huh. Why is it bringing up as unknown? What if I go here? I'll say show debug message, and we'll print what this thing has returned. If it returned anything. It could have also not found the file though. I'm not sure if it's checking. No, let's check everything alright. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and out. That should have recorded it. hey, that actually recorded it. Well, I mean, yeah, of course it did, but it doesn't read it. That's the big problem. Position animation equals ds grid read path string. Ds grid read argument 2 incorrect type. What do you mean argument 2? There's only one argument. Oh, yes. That's because you supply the ds grid name as the first argument. That's right. Now we'll read it and okay. Okay, here we go. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll say, yeah. Like that. We'll save it. We'll go over here and we'll uncomment all of this stuff. Okay, let's see. Pre-written character movement. Come on, you can do it. Holy cow, this is awesome. Oh, that's so cool. But why did it do it the first time? Why did it do it the first time like super fast? And the second time it was kind of blech. Right? But this is so cool, I can animate stuff without using paths. Alright. Frame per step. Oh, it might have... That's right. It's because there's two animations that were recorded. Right? Okay, so we need to do... file. Yeah, because it recorded on top of the previous animation, that's why. Okay, file. File text. Okay. Exists. Key, layer, part, room. We need like file exists. File exists. File name. If the file with this file name exists, we need to do file, delete, file name, that. And then we need to create it again so that we can record the position stuff again. You hear that, Burke? That's what we need to do. Alright. I might have to come up with a second camera solution so that I can record the global position of this stuff. But this is great for like pre-recorded things. Also, the fact that you can get it up and running like that is pretty damn interesting. Okay. So let's disable this stuff. To enable the mouse thing. This is so cool. So I can spawn these guys. And I can give them like the predetermined path thing. Start server. That's pretty cool. I can tell them what they have to do when the path is done. Okay, so how about this? So we can do something like this. Let's say we'll start here. And save. Beautiful. So now, as soon as I start the game, we can do this. I can even do looping animations or looping paths. That first string is still there. Why is it still there? I thought I deleted it. If file exists, temp data, delete it. Weird. Let's take a look at this. File exists, level. If file exists, delete that file. So weird. Okay, let's try this. File is not open for reading. Is file read? Oh yeah. I need to do this. If file exists, do this. Oh yes. That's because I haven't closed the file. That's why it still existed. File close. Crazy Vortex. How's it going? Here we go. It would be fantastic if this thing was in the level. It is in the level. Yeah, enemy swarm. So, how much has changed in the game? A fair bit. Once again, not quite sure where you left off last time. But let's see. So I have to comment this out. Okay, let's see if this will work. Server, here we go. Okay. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. Save. So now this should work. It's been 2 days. Well, I started putting in the first level from the concept art. Here we go. It's actually running. If only maybe a little bit faster, but... I might have to record the steps as well. Maybe. Yes, definitely. I'll have to, if I want this stuff to be moving at the same speed, because I can't trust it to move at the same speed, I might have to record the artificial frames that is being recorded at as well. So let me go ahead and close this up. I've added flashlights, I've added some enemy types. I'll show you one of the enemy types. How did you make that animation? Particles. Just a particle system. In fact, I have it running right here. Okay. So we'll say ready at following the player. So here's what I want to try out. If we get up here, I want this thing to start like this. And go that way. See, because I'm bound to the camera of the player, it's kind of difficult, but... So, that works. Here's what I'm gonna do now. File, text, close. It's pretty cool. I can manually record the positions for the for these enemies, and the players have to follow them, or have to shoot them down. And I can record like a long path that seems random, but it's not actually random. Alright, so file texture, or file text close. So here's what I'll need to do. File name, and we'll do file name, and we'll have to say file name equals just that. I'll watch it from Twitch. I see. So in here we'll have to say if file name does not equals to just that, just an empty string, then we need to go ahead and create all of these things. And same thing in here. If file name does not equals to an empty string, then we'll go ahead and do this stuff. Other than that, we should be able to still record it. All right. So as of now, the file name will be equals to the empty string. We'll have to say this: if it reaches the end of the frame, or the end of this animation data grid thing, then we'll say instance destroy. Just ID self, and that'll be it. So by the end of the animation, it will destroy itself. We can reset what it does by the end of the animation afterwards. But this means that if I go over here, here's what I want to do. I want to create okay, so create object, obj trigger. Okay. In a step event, we'll say if obj player dot, or actually if point distance from xy of this trigger to obj player dot x, obj player dot y is less than, let's say, 500. Yeah, let's do 300. Then it will spawn instance create. We'll say x, y. Oh, layer. XY on a layer called player obj swarm, enemy swarm. We'll say swarm equals, and swarm dot file name will be equals to this guy. So that should make this a triggerable event. Let me create a little utility, SPR, create a little debug thing. Let's say this would be red with some yellow stripes. Center. Let's go into this level, drop this guy in, and we're gonna see what sort of errors it gives us. Okay, I want this thing to spawn right here. I wonder if we can get an instance place to work on this actually, instead of this. Instance place. Instance position, xy, obj nearest player will be equals. Obj or instance nearest obj player. So if this instance does collide with it, then we'll also show debug message just for good measure, spawned, just in case if nothing happens. Alright, so what do we have here? Variable object swarm.position. Position animation, not set before reading it. That's understandable, that's in the step event. Object swarm. Position animation. There's no left button or right button. I might just create the grid just for good measure. It'll be empty. But we'll see what it does. Okay, so... Okay, so that was the particle enemy swarm that was already there. That's not the one that we need. We need the one that's over here. Ah, you did create it. Enemy swarm.frame. Swarm.frame. Wait a minute, what? Swarm.frame. Yeah, well, it's... So... Ah, yeah, that's right. That's right. First, this create event takes place. Then that create event takes place. Surface create. Event type. Event perform. Ooh, ah. We can't have that. You see, now we have a dilemma. How about this? We'll create the frame. We're not going to create... Oh man. DS grid read. Okay, how about this? We'll take this. Path red equals false. We'll say if the file exists, then if path red is equals to false, we'll go ahead and do this so it only does once, and path red equals to true. So this we need just so that it would only do it once. But technically now, it would load up the path at the beginning of that step event. Okay. Not said before reading it. This is step event line 13. Line 13, file name. Even though file name... Oh, file name. Wrong name. Here we go. Okay, keep going. Vortex, are you there? I'm not seeing your messages if you did switch to Twitch. Server start, ready. Okay, come on. What the hell was that? Oh, jeez. Cool. It's doing it multiple times. But it's not deleting it. So I can get here. So that's creating this guy. Interesting. Fascinating. Oh, it's spawning them. Interesting, okay. So, with the trigger event, spawn or used equals false. And after this, if used equals false, jeez, come on. It's false. Else, used equals true. So it only does it once. It's spawning them so many times. Why is it spawning them so many times? Huh. Oh, whoops. Not else. What am I doing? What am I doing? Used equals true. After it spawned it. Okay. Passed. Okay, so instead of instance position, we'll say place meeting XY with object player. I think place meeting is using the collision mask. Let's see. Place meeting turns true. It says do not use precision collision mask. Place meeting returns false as both instances are use precision collision mask. I see. So this would trigger it. Yeah, like, of course it would. So place meeting or position meeting? Huh. Place meeting. With the function you can check the position for a collision event. Where's the one that checks just using an instance whether or not it collides with them? Also, this thing might not have a collision mask set up with it. Collision mask, automatic, rectangle. Okay, what about the player then? Although I'm pretty sure the player voids its collision mask because full image manual. Diamond. Precise slow. Precise per frame. Yeah, we'll just need precise slow. Ellipse. Hey. Ellipse. Doing that. There we go. I'm not sure if it's gonna do anything though. It could very well do absolutely nothing. Yep. Object trigger. I'm pretty sure these things don't work in physics-based environment. Position meeting. What are all the collision functions that we have access to here? Collision checking. Sim collision checking. Place meeting. Position empty. Instance place. Advanced collision checking. Collision circle. Collision checking without a mask. Point in rectangle. Cool. Physics collision. Physics test overlap. We built in physics. The above collision functions are not guaranteed to work for physics-enabled instances. Not guaranteed, but they should still do something. Okay, so place meeting. X position to check, Y position to check, the instance or object to check. Okay, how about we'll do just object player. Place meeting. If anything, I might make a secondary object that doesn't use physics that will set the position X and Y with. There's place meeting, there's a position meeting. Or instance place. There's also another one. This function you can check the position for collision with another instance or an instance of an object using the collision mask. Instance place. Actually, one sec. Used equals false. If used is equals false. Ah, man, I'm an idiot. This has to be set to true only if the collision takes place. And then it sets to true right away. Right? It says if it's true, if it's false, set it to true. Regardless of whether or not this happens. Ah, man. That's dumb. Okay, moving right along. There we go. Okay, so instead of instance place, we'll do place meeting. I think it almost also negates the size of the sprite image by the looks of it. So we've got player, object player, create event. Huh. We don't seem to be... No. We don't seem to be using image X scale and image Y scale. Interesting. draw event, X scale, Y scale, image X scale. So why aren't we using this? 0.5. That's kind of weird. Why wouldn't I use it? Oh, who knows? So we'll see if that actually breaks anything or fixes something. Never know. So the size is the same, but the collision check. There we go. It's working. It's working all right. Okay, but that thing is not despawning, which it should. Object enemy swarm. So we're looking at this thing. It might be destroying the instance, but it's not resetting these emitters, and these emitters do not exist in this instance. Right? So before we destroy them, we need to make sure that we set this to 0, because the particles are spawning. This particle spawners, they don't exist inside of this instance, they exist inside of the master instance. That's why it's not spawning. Oof. Okay, so that should have stopped. Which means that it's not being despawned. Okay, show debug message. Gone. Okay, let's say we'll do it like this. I think we can still accept it that way. Also, I'll have to re-record this. You should not exist. Oh, it says gone, which means that it did get destroyed. So what the hell? Oh, because the last thing that it does is reset it, of course. So I might have to actually move this to instance, the cleanup event. We'll just do this in here. That should be the last event that actually takes place. It's destroying the instance. It's not stopping the particles. Why not? How about we will set this at the top. That'll be the first thing it does in that step. Instance destroy. Huh. Oh, we did it. It got destroyed. Okay. So now, just to make it clean, let me place an enemy swarm in here, and I'll move this out of the way because I want to quickly record just a simple animation of it moving past. Start ready. There we go. And that's all that I want. Enemy swarm, so I'll take this guy, position it here. That's amazing. This is awesome. There is a small discrepancy where you can kind of see that it spawns here and then it reads the file and then it kind of moves away like this. What if I quickly create a second camera? Quickly. Haha. Quickly. Okay, camera create view. So cam 2. We'll call it cam debug. We'll do this. Alright. And here's the thing. Here's what it's gonna do. In the step event, if keyboard check pressed, we'll do ord, the key will be 1, unless there's actually a virtual key. VK 1? No. Then we'll say that view set camera, we'll just say 2. View set camera will be cam debug. And if we say 1, will just be cam. The only difference is that with the camera debug, what am I doing wrong here? Oh yeah. There we go. With the camera debug, is that cam debug x cam debug y equals y equals x for starters, but this movement is actually going to be done by a different control scheme. Whoopsie. So we'll say cam debug x plus equals keyboard check vk up, or technically plus is right, minus vk left, or I should say, I need to do this entire function, minus vk left, y plus equals down minus up, and we'll probably have to move it by, like, multiply by 5, multiply by 5. As a matter of fact, we'll do it like this. Yeah, no, that's fine. This should be fine enough for the time being. Okay, so 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, come on. Boy. Okay. So maybe this doesn't actually work. So we'll do that and this. Wait, view set camera debug. That's the we also need to say camera set x, view set interesting. Set view position. Camera. Debug. We'll say this X and this Y. Okay, so 2, 1, 2. This doesn't really do much. It's so cool. Still though. View set view set visible. Okay, is it the camera that attaches to the view or the view that attaches to the camera? Let's see. We'll set a camera to a specific viewport. You can give the viewport set viewport camera ID. View set camera. Viewport camera ID. You give the viewport to set and supply the in-camera ID. So that viewport. View set visible. Yeah. Viewport width. Camera cam debug. Am I? Yeah. Cam debug. Okay, so how about we'll say L and K. Maybe it doesn't understand those symbols either. L, K. Huh. Keyboard press, check press. View set to 0, camera. View set camera to 0, camera debug. Object camera. Why are you not working? How to switch between two cameras, yeah. Oh, that actually, that's the object. Object that it follows. So both cameras are following the same object. That's why it's not working. I need that to be some sort of a default value that says that there's no object. It could be 0 or -1. -1 for no object. There we go. Okay. See if this works. So, okay. L. Beautiful! Oh, that's all I needed. Okay. Fantastic. Alright, the only thing that I need here is I need this to be done before I multiply it by 5. But we'll do plus, plus, plus 1 that is multiplied by 10 which is also multiplied by keyboard check pressed VK left shift. So if left shift is pressed, this will be 1, 10, 10. So this will move faster. Although that still means it's a plus. And if we say this, oh man. that's fine. Let's just do, let's play by 10. Whatever. Let's keep the speed up. Okay, we'll go L. Alright, so that's basically all I want to do. So I can take the swarm. Oh, I already have a... Do I have a swarm? Is that a swarm? That is a camera. So here we go. We'll take the swarm. This is just testing out the tools. Here we go. Start server. There's the swarm. I'll need to switch to this camera. Right. Then I'll have to do that. And that. So that should now have this effect in place. Nice and recorded. I'll have to put it in as an included file though. Okay, don't mind. Okay, I'll need to delete this. Enemy swarm. There we go. There we go. So we can actually position it something like that. Because you can't see most of the action. Cool. All that's left is to make this invisible by putting in a draw event and not putting in the draw self command so that it would draw itself. Here we go. Oopsie. Oopsie. Oh. Let's look at my movement. Jeez. Oh god, it's gonna get triggered. No. There we go. We cleared them. Come on. It's all random. Why did I make it random? There we go. Might have to fix up that spread a little bit. It's got awfully blurry compared to the rest. Okay, I need to get this motion under control so that I can do this. I can get away from here. Oh, jeez. So I can actually record, now that I know that I can use the DS grids to record the data, I can actually go ahead and do that. If I need to record an enemy, right? All I have to do is start the enemy with disabled physics and play back the animation. If the enemy gets attacked, I can turn off the animation, enable the physics, and now the enemy will run on its own like AI. But with this, I can have like animated effects. Okay. Well, this is pretty good. I'm gonna take a break, and I'll see if there's any more that I want to do today, right? But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.